everyone, welcome back to Cass Attempts. I'm Cass, your host, and today we are still talking about languages. But today we're talking about what the top 10 languages in the world are. This is something that I kind of really wanted to research because I was curious, and the results actually surprised me. So once I looked up the top 10 languages in the world, I knew that I had to make a video on it and an article around it just because it was so different than what I expected, and I feel like I can get a lot of cultural commentary in here. I got all of this information from ethnologue.com, which is a leading language research website that collects language research essentially. You can view the top 20 languages in the world for free on their website. I will link that down below. You do have to pay if you want to get the full list, but I think the top 20 are good enough. Basically, when I started my language research for this series of articles, I had some preconceived notions about what the top 10 languages in the world would be, and that was kind of based on being an English-speaking person who lives in Canada and who hasn't really been to that many places outside of the country. I've been to Hawaii, I've been to Texas, I've been to Mexico, and I have been on a whirlwind high school spring break trip to Europe, where I went to Paris, Geneva, Florence, and Rome, and did not do all that much in any of those cities because we spent 24 hours in each one. A bit more than 24 hours, but you get what I mean. It was a bit of a whirlwind trip, so I didn't really get to take in as much as I wish I could have. Basically, I went in and I knew that English would be either the top or very close to the top because it is a big language, and I'd already written my previous article with the research about English being a bully language and things like that. And then I also knew that Mandarin Chinese would be fairly close to the top as well because China is just such a big country with such a huge population, and it also is becoming a global business language. So I knew that they were going to be at the top, and I was right about that because English is the #1 most spoken language with 1.132 million speakers, and Mandarin Chinese is closely behind at 1.17 million speakers. But in my ignorance of world geography, or simply because of my personal surroundings, a lot of my other assumptions about the world's most spoken languages were pretty much just plain wrong. Very wrong. For example, I was very certain that German was going to be in the top 10, and I was fairly certain that Russian, a language that I'm trying to learn at the moment, would not be in the top 10. Both of those assumptions were wrong, and a lot of the other things that I assumed were wrong too, so we're gonna get into that. In third place, there is a sharp decline from the 1.17 million speakers of Chinese, and the third place language has 615 million people who speak it, and the third most spoken language in the world is actually Hindi. And that's something that I didn't think about because I guess I just didn't really... I always forget how big India is and how big of a population it has. So I guess I just didn't realize that Hindi would have that many speakers. So Hindi is in third. And then of course, the usual suspects I wrote down, Spanish and French came in 4th and 5th respectively, which was followed by another surprise, Standard Arabic. Arabic is another language that I'm planning on potentially learning in the future, and I am shocked that I didn't know that it was this popular. I really should have done my research a little better before planning on learning this language, but apparently it is really popular. It's the 6th most spoken language in the world, and apparently what I did learn after researching this is that most countries in Northern Africa speak Standard Arabic. It's not their main official language, only language for all of them, but a lot of the countries in Northern Africa they speak Standard Arabic. They speak Standard Arabic. That is where I'm gonna end today's video because I didn't get to get into it a whole ton, but I did get into the first bit and some of the misconceptions I had, and definitely check back tomorrow for another video that is going to have more misconceptions and more surprises when I was looking this up and writing it down. So check back for that. It'll be more interesting than this first part, I think. Although the first part I think is pretty interesting too. I don't know. Let me know in the comments, I guess. As usual, this has been me, and you will see me tomorrow for part 2. Am I saying subscribers or speakers? That's a question. I don't know. We'll see what happens when I edit this video.